Hey everybody, Kevin Whitaker, Treasure Coast Hot. As you know, unfortunately, we had to cancel the Treasure Coast Hot this year due to the coronavirus, but we're still going to be here for you. We're going to offer some free training videos so you can see what we would have done at the Hot, and hopefully what you're going to see next year at the beginning of May when you guys come back 2021. So what we're going to talk about today is survival, firefighter survival, and more importantly, communications. Right? Every line of duty death that you read, just about every line of duty death you read, communications plays a factor. So it's one of those things that we should be drilling on and getting that repetition in. So in that communications, the first thing we want to talk about is how we dress, right? So we have a firefighter here dressed out, full bunker gear. If you notice, his radio is under his coat, right? That's one of the big important things because our radio cord here, our mic cord, is not really rated for real high fire exposure. So we want to make sure that we put as much of that under the coat as we can. He has his radio on a strap, the bucket's down here so he can still get to the knobs if he needs to, change channels, volume, whatever. And then his mic is sticking out of the neck of the jacket, right? We can turn this clip and clip it right here if we want to, or he's able to hold it. As you can see, we use the G1. So with the G1, it has the microphone port on the side, which means I can't take this radio up and talk at my mouth. I'm not going to be able to hear it very clearly on the mic. The other thing is I want to make sure that my radio mic doesn't go straight onto the speaker, right? Two microphone speakers together, you get a lot of feedback. We want to kind of stay away from that. The other thing is how we talk, right? If I'm screaming, right, and it is what it is in that kind of situation, but we want to try to train ourselves to do it the right way, repetition, things like that. So the way that we do that is when I'm communicating, nice and calm, clear enunciation, right? When I do that, the receiver is able to hear me and they're able to understand what I'm saying, what I'm talking about. And that's going to help a lot. So if we can train ourselves to do that in a calm scenario, hopefully our subconscious is going to kick in when we're in the bad stuff, and we're going to resort to that and be able to build off that for if and when, God forbid, we get into that kind of situation. Right, so the drill that we're going to do today is called the Lego drill. In the Lego drill, we're going to have one participant outside, full bunker gear, on a mask, reading the directions to the Legos. You can see right here, I got my directions. So he's going to read the directions. We're going to have another participant that's going to be separated, full mask, bunker gear, PPE, with a radio, and they're going to have to build whatever this firefighter number one tells them. One firefighter gets the directions, the other firefighter gets a pile of Legos. All right? So you guys will see how we do that here in a second. Stay tuned. All right, so we're getting ready to run the Lego drill, practicing communications. So I got my firefighter, full PPE. He's on air. He's got his directions. He's going to be communicating with the other firefighter in a calm, controlled manner, controlling his speech, trying to speak clearly and descriptively on what's going on while using his radio in the proper manner. Also maintaining his thought of staying calm, staying in the moment, and being able to communicate that to the other firefighter. He also has to combat his pass device going off. So he's going to be doing that the whole time, and we'll bring you in to see the other firefighter. So we go ahead and we're going to start the drill right now.
Lego with the 18 holes on it, and a rectangle yellow one.
Dark green square.
Okay, dark green square with 16 dots.
All right, so right now they're communicating back and forth, trying to understand what each other's talking about. But one of the things that I had mentioned earlier that I want you to look for in this drill is how you're holding the radio. So if you look, where is he holding the radio? He's holding it up to his mouth because that's the way he's always done it, right? The problem with that is on the G1, our microphone is here on the side, right? Your voice amplifier is on the side. So you're not able to hear what he's saying because he's holding it up to his mouth, right? We have to start training like we do in the real world. So that's what he's got to work on, and we'll be talking about that during this drill.
They're going to connect the brown square with the hole in the middle in between the two
right? So something else we want to make sure we're watching is how much air are we breathing. So while we're doing this drill, they need to be thinking about how much air you're breathing in, how much air are you wasting, right? When you can conserve air, try to conserve it. Nice and controlled breathing. Practice breathing techniques. The Riley breathing technique is a good one. Or counting your breaths. Breathe in 4 seconds, out 4 seconds. Control your breathing. Practice how you play.
Can you repeat what you said?
So they're having trouble communicating.
I live in rectangle yellow with the 8 dots on top of the two
You can see while they're talking to each other, the guy outside is kind of screaming. So he's talking loudly, might be getting frustrated, and they're having trouble communicating, right? So it's important that I go talk to this guy and make sure, hey, you got to slow your breathing down, right? Slow your talking down. Enunciate your words, right? And try to calm down.
It's gonna be on top of the two squares with the 2 dots.
So it's important to remember that if you raise your voice, the speakers are going to distort, and it's going to be hard to hear on the other end. So that's what the discussion we just had was just talking calmly, talking normally, and maybe enunciating and slowing down your speech.
The 8 rectangle square is gonna go across the.
All right, let's check in on them and see how they're doing. What do you think? Does it match?
A 4-box yellow square in the middle of the yellow rectangle.
I don't know. So what usually happens right about now in this drill is they start to get frustrated with each other, right? And their communication starts to break down. And the person that's building starts to do whatever they want, which we call that freelancing, right? So in real life, that's what happens, right? Communication starts to break down. Crews want to get the job done. They'll start freelancing. We'll do whatever they got to do to make sure they complete the objective. Let's see if she's freelancing.
The color is orange and it should be red. It's supposed to go over one dot on top of the orange.
I don't have any more orange. I don't have any more orange.
So I made a tactical error and forgot to have the inside firefighter on air. So she wasn't on air, but now we got her on air and we'll see how it goes.
Green rectangle.
Maybe it'll get better. Let's go see what's going on outside. So you can see it gets frustrating, but it's a good drill, right? So we can concentrate on how we communicate with each other and then how our equipment operates and how we can be more beneficial. So unfortunately, we got to wrap up the video. The crew ended up getting a call. I had to leave. But here's their finished product. Right? That's what they made. Here's what it was supposed to look like. Right? A little house. Right? So the communication was a little off. That's okay. That's how the drill's supposed to go. One of the things, or a couple of the things that we want to work on, or where our objectives, our learning objectives through this drill, are one, we want to record the air consumption before and after. Right? We want to make sure crews are understanding how much air they're using just during medial tasks, not even with stress involved, so that we can start to control that air usage. We want to talk about how to dress for survival situations. We want to talk about how to use our equipment, how to hold the radio, how everything works. Make sure we have a good understanding on that. We want to know how to communicate, how to speak, right? Calmly, clearly, enunciate, make sure we're portraying our message to our receiver. To get this drill done, all you need is a couple firefighters with full PPE and a radio, air bottles, some Legos, right? I got Lego Classic, got little directions on it, little figures to build. Pretty easy drill, but it does a lot, right? So there's a part 2 to the drill. Part 2 is they switch roles. So if you were the builder, now you get to give the directions. If you give the directions, now you get to build. And usually the crews do a lot better on the second part of the drill because they're learning from what they did, learning from their mistakes, and they learn patience really with each other and how to communicate and overcome any obstacles that they face. So that's going to wrap up the video. Hope you enjoyed our survival communication. Look for more videos. Come see us at the Treasure Coast Hot next year, 2021, beginning of May. Sorry we missed it this year, but can't wait to see you guys next year.